All right.
Yeah, we did
So
the presentation today. And
Yeah,
I
I
don't
know.
know volume-wise, but we're probably fine. But I just wanted to be a nice
Yeah.
neighbor.
Yeah.
Not that you're loud, but
Christian group over
I
here.
can.
Too proud.
I know.
we're praising Jesus.
We know how to have a good time.
Amen.
So I called this from calling to content, and then it's making your message visible on Instagram. So I'm going to be talking mostly about Instagram. However, if you've got some Facebook stuff you want to talk about, we can do that too. I want this to be more of a conversation style than just me talking at you. So feel free to interject at any point in time, because I want you to be able to take something away from this. And if you have questions, please stop me whenever. Maybe not.
Do you need me to do that for you?
I don't know what. Oh, there we go. Okay.
I'll quit.
So I did want to start with some scripture just to bring us back, right? Because that's why we're all here.
Yeah.
And the one I chose is from Matthew 5:14. You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden. And I really want you to think about what that means in terms of your calling and sharing. I find myself coming back to this often because I like to hide. I think it's something we all do, right? So I remind myself that I do need to put this out there. I do need to be seen because I have something valuable to share and I'm going to make impact. And if we could, before we get into
No, sorry.
No, you're fine. If we could just pray real quick before we get into things, I'd like to just bring us back to why we're here,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
All right. So, Lord, please, first, thank you for bringing all of these women together. And I'm just so grateful for the connections we're making and that you have just created a space for us to learn, grow, connect, and most of all, support each other. I pray that you give them some valuable message from me. So use me today to provide value and support to these wonderful women who are here. We are all here for you. You have put callings on our hearts, and we want to glorify you and continue to share and spread your message and your word. So I'm just so grateful for this opportunity and for these wonderful women in the room. Amen.
Amen.
All right. Thank you for that.
I'll wait until you tell me to hit it, and I will.
I've got to look back in reference to.
That's her nickname, Trigger Happy.
So today I'm going to talk about Instagram. It's a platform I love, but I know there's a lot of feelings around it. Some people love it, some people hate it. Sometimes there's this love-hate relationship. Sometimes you know you should use it and you're just like, I don't know. But I want to talk to you specifically how we can use it to serve God and the calling we have on our heart. So I'm going to be bringing everything back to that. So before we talk about strategy, we're going to talk about calling, because that's the whole point. That's why we're here. So this isn't just a business. We're on assignment. There's a calling on our heart that we need to go out and share with others. So whether it's a message, a mission, an offer, whatever it might be, you have it, right? And that's why we're all here. Maybe you've had some hesitation showing up online. Maybe not. Maybe you want to show up online and you're not so sure the best way to do it, because it might feel like too much or overwhelming. Maybe you don't know where to start. So I'm here to help with that, hopefully, to maybe get some actionable steps that you can take forward. Because I felt the same thing in the beginning of some kind of imposter syndrome, feeling like I wasn't enough. Who am I to come and talk to people about Instagram? Like, I am by no means a professional in the space. But what I want to remind you is, if you're even one step ahead of somebody else, you can provide those people value and serve them in a really meaningful, impactful way. So sometimes you just have to, you don't need to be an expert. You don't need to have a massive following. You don't need to be years and years down the road into something to serve people well and make impact. So I didn't show up for a long time in this. I've had a feeling that I should help people with their content and Instagram, but it was a long time before I finally went out and started telling people about it, or even calling myself a content and social media coach. Just because that like in my mind, that sounded like I should have a lot more than I do. So I want to remind you that if you're feeling that way too, it's okay. If you have this calling on your heart, it's for a reason. Staying quiet about your calling is not humility. It's hesitation, and the world needs what you carry. So take 2 seconds, or however many seconds you need, and think about this question. What has God trusted you to say, teach, or share? And who needs what you've walked through? Because then that'll give you an idea of who we're showing up for. Because when we show up, it's not for us, it's for someone else. It's for who we need to serve. So if you've ever struggled with, who am I showing up for? What do I even say? That's a good question to ask yourself, to root yourself in what we're doing. So I can give you a couple seconds. I guess I can ask, does everybody know who they're talking to and why? Is there anybody who maybe isn't so sure? Well, we don't want to talk to everybody, because if we're talking to everybody, we're talking to nobody. So we need to niche down a little bit. Yeah.
Like myself,
Well,
I have
you-
real estate and I have community.
Yeah, you're multifaceted.
Real estate,
What do you specialize in real estate?
realtors for listing, but then, I mean.
No, but I mean, like, do you specialize in first-time home buyers? You have a niche?
I do luxury for luxury.
Okay.
And then I like, depending on lots, it's kind of, I mean, real estate groups is depending on
Sorry.
what type of
No, you're
groups.
fine.
I mean,
Right.
It's like grown-ups.
Yeah.
I have different groups for different things, and then Buzz is community.
Right.
It's all different sanctions and stuff. Not that Buzz isn't in real estate as well. I've trained so many agents, and then it's kind of a mixture of stuff. Because like my own company, well, people don't even know what I work for anymore. I'm actually my own arm. It's kind of intertwined anymore because I've been
Are you
really
a broker?
years. I'm not broke. Everybody thinks I'm a broker.
Well, I'm asking, are you, so you have a broker?
Yeah, of course I have a broker.
I know, that's what I'm asking. Who is your broker?
Actually,
I don't know who actually,
Wainwright.
wait a minute. Is that,
I know.
is that a real
It's
estate
attention.
company? I don't
Yeah,
know.
that is.
Okay, all right, okay.
That's one.
Sorry.
Can you click the?
Oh,
It can be hard to silo yourself
Well, I mean,
down,
I-
or, you know, I looked up.
Thank
what
you.
is
Well, I
niche?
guess it's a
A
small
small
scale,
hollow
niche.
space, so what is that, like, and who am I showing up for? I guess, like, I hate to narrow it down,
But if you don't, you're really
Right,
you're
so-
scarcity.
but, right.
Right.
So I
And
need
then
to
if you don't speak to,
identify.
Yeah, so
you
the-
want to speak-
The reason you need to identify niches is because if we're talking to everybody, when you put something out there, no one's going to look at that and be like, she's talking to me.
Exactly.
They're just going to keep scrolling. But if you're talking to her, she's going to look at that and she's going to be like, she's talking to me.
Yeah.
And we want her to feel seen, heard, and valued.
Like if you were just constantly like, you know, Minita Smith on like area of what your business is till you build.
You can even dive in. So, like, my niche that I focus on is moms who are in direct sales, young moms. I even go further, who have an entrepreneurial drive, right? Now, here's the thing though, when you post your content, even though you're focused on this niche, other people are going to see your stuff and still relate, which is great. But if we're trying to generate some income,
Yeah.
we need to funnel the niche
So
down.
women
Yep.
over 40 or women 45 plus, or.
Keep going, even more.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, we want to keep
Like,
Keep
I'm,
going.
I'm targeted by Virginia Talk Network right now for real estate talk show.
Mhm.
They're like, okay, the demographics of this. I'm like, duh, because I come from Cincinnati and radio stations I work for into certain target markets.
Yeah.
Men and household incomes, blah, 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 blah. And so that different kind of thing. But when you're, depending on, like, you know, for instance, Nicolette, and what her target market is more than it's, you know, here.
Well, if you want to relate it back to scripture, you think about what Paul said.
Yeah.
He knew who he was speaking to.
Yeah.
So he
Mhm.
became that person that he was trying to
Right.
connect
Yep.
with. Right.
And Acts 22 too, I tell my clients this all the time. You know, there were all these languages being spoken, but it says, but when they heard their language being spoken,
They understood.
They
listened,
understood.
they paid attention.
Right.
So if they don't hear their language
Right.
being spoken, they're gonna scroll
Yep.
right on by.
Well, kind of like, I love that concept of asking the community what you want. Which do you like, this or that, about the thing of asking the community. I love to hear what the public has to say.
Feedback.
That's the best thing about portfolio, because they're gonna go and say, I said that, I like that, it's there.
It's like, who are you rehabbing
Nicolette.
for?
Yeah.
And then
The first-time home buyer,
and
the
those who want to look and build
out of
out.
place
Yeah.
lake person.
Asking-
Go a little bit more. Ask yourself, you can ask yourself, what do people come to you for? So is it quick makeup routines? Are you serving busy moms who are in this season of motherhood where you need to, like, they don't have time to sit down and do a full face? Like, maybe it's quick makeup you can do in 5 to 10 minutes
Who's
to
their
feel
ideal
better.
buyer? Is she bride? Is she
Mhm.
a businesswoman on
Ask them what they
headshots?
want.
I want to target women who don't have a skincare routine. It starts there. The makeup can be, it's like frosting a cake. If the cake is all, if you didn't flour the pan and it doesn't come out nice.
Yeah.
So I
Bless you.
want to
What
target
is it?
women with their
Yeah.
skincare. So that's,
So
In the lake,
Who
people wear a lot of makeup.
doesn't have a skincare routine? Think about what season of life she's in.
Early childhood mom life, you know?
Right?
How many-
Is it early childhood moms who just don't have time for that self-care?
sometimes it's older women too.
I was gonna say, because then there's another
We
season
got
when
us.
you get more
We got
mature,
old people
where you
here too,
don't,
baby.
you don't think anybody cares anymore, so you stop.
Yeah.
She told me I
Okay,
need to
so
stop
dig
every
into
3 months.
that more.
And
Dig
and
into
the other
that.
thing is, with your niche, they need to be a buyer.
Mhm.
You have a business, it's not a nonprofit. If it's a
Right.
nonprofit, but if it's you need it, who's your ideal buyer, and you really have a passion to serve and help.
And when it comes to social media, that's gonna be you've gotta make sure you find that audience on that
Yep.
platform, right?
Exactly.
Right.
Yep. We want to speak to her so that way when we provide value to her, she's going to look for you. So she's like, Nicolette did this, it was helpful. It's like 5 tips to speed up your morning routine, whatever it is. She keeps coming back. And then you talk about this makeup you have. And she's like, I'm going to buy that from her because she's provided this much value for me. I want to work with her. So that's why we need to get very clear on who we're serving and how we're going to serve them.
So lake's a different animal. Especially when you're, well, I mean, tourists is so different, but
Right.
lake life living, we really just don't go, I know wear makeup today.
Right.
Well, and local and online are different.
Yeah.
It's
A little bit.
You know.
So
if
think-
you said, like,
think on it.
Making it 3 months, really, because my half my staff is going,
Your skincare will be if you're using it every day like you should.
right. I need to put a marker on top of what day and night is because I have glasses on. Someone over.
So you can ask yourself those questions, and then I think it will help you. And then you can ask a little bit more and dig a little bit deeper. And when you think you're done, keep going because you're not done yet.
Fun with that. I love them.
And if you want to, if you come up with it, if you want to hit me your line of who it is, I'll ask questions to kind of help you dig a little bit deeper.
With the venue, I'm going, you know what, I didn't think of that as a background. Or, you know, the next, I asked today about, I love lobster rolls.
I saw that. I was wondering,
I'm
like,
going, I love lobster rolls. And I'm like, well, because I had an experience last week. And I'm like, let this public see.
that's funny.
Well,
I want to give you stats on the platform, why I love Instagram. Number 1, it's free. Free marketing, if you know how to utilize it. There's over 1 billion people on Instagram, so don't tell me your people aren't on Instagram because they are. Right now, it's not just about posting pretty pictures or whatever. People are actually using the platform to learn. Nobody's using Google anymore. They're going to Instagram, they're going to TikTok to learn, to shop,
What's the
to
update
get
on
inspired.
TikTok thing to China?
I don't know much about TikTok. I don't like
And
TikTok much.
John's like, we're not on it right now because of weird.
I don't spend time on TikTok. I'm on
I
Instagram
use
mostly.
TikTok. And it's the same thing, I think.
Same idea.
Same idea as Instagram. I think Instagram has got deeper roots.
Mhm.
There's a misconception about TikTok, so don't even worry about any of that.
I don't play around with
And
TikTok.
first link- Well, I've been linked on before Wire Facebook.
The important thing to know is people are using Instagram to look for stuff. So they are looking for the solutions you provide.
I'm kinda
Instead of
like
going to
silent on
Google.
Facebook, I don't know my stuff. Facebook.
That's okay.
So I already got the content.
Yeah. Instagram's a megaphone for your mission, so use it. If you're not using Instagram, you're just leaving money on the table because your girl's there. I've actually, most of my friends that I've met through Instagram. Like, I have a best friend in Pennsylvania. We met through Instagram. I can. I will look at it and I will let you know. I have so many virtual friends on Instagram, and they've just connected with something I posted, or I've connected with something they've posted, and we just became friends. Like, I have a friend in Oregon. Her husband's an electrician. My husband's an electrician. She has 3 boys. I have 2 boys. She posted something about boy mom life that I thought was funny. Her kids are dressed. She's a lot more organized than I am.
One of the things that I struggle with social media currently is that there's so many bots and false people who are so like trying to cipher through like their messages and stuff to people who are not legit and scammers.
Have they been asking you out to dinner? I've got people
Like
asking me out to
on
dinner.
Facebook, yeah, but
No,
like
I did it on my
You
phone.
can usually tell
Yeah.
because the scammers start the same way,
Yep.
and it's usually not genuine connection based.
Right. Well, oh, I get that. But the ability to filter through it all, because if you're getting, quite a few messages per day, and there's legit in there. That I'm just showing you. That's one of my personal struggles.
Yeah.
Because okay, if you're on a lot of platforms, like I am on a lot of platforms, I don't. This is the least one that I utilize. But my daughters are all over this, and they use it constantly.
Yep.
But on all 4 platforms that I'm on, you do deal with a lot of people who are not legit, who are fake, and when you're trying to cipher through to make those connections, it's very time consuming to. Okay, this one's a creeper. This is not a real person. This is not a real. Like I have to go back and look through their stuff, and it's very.
Sometimes triggers is the program
So,
that I can tell.
like on Facebook because it's so old school now. You can see them right away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even on
Inst-
Twitter, but not knowing. I had never really utilized Instagram.
Instagram's pretty easy to tell. If it's someone that hasn't posted anything and they have a few followers, I don't even respond, because if you haven't posted and you're not active on the platform, you're probably just here for no reason. So there are some things you can look for if they don't have a profile photo. I don't even bother.
Some you can just tell is
No mutual
Yeah.
friends, no
African.
You can, if you click on their page real quick, you can look and see.
Yeah, exactly.
I just
Especially
find
if
it
they're
very
single and they're over their their dead wife's
Yeah.
casket going.
You can set up too, like you can set up an automatic message that comes through, that when people message you, it messages them back, and that can kind of do some of the filtering on the front end for you. That can do some of the filtering for you.
Saying hello.
It just keeps it easy, and then you can find, like, after that, you can see who's genuine and who's not. But you'll get a good idea after you start using the platform. One misconception I just want to throw out there is we're not trying to go viral. Don't even think about we need to make a video that's going to make us go viral. Doesn't matter. You just want to show up for the people who need you. Going viral doesn't matter. I can't say that enough. Quality over quantity. I have 2,000 and change followers on Instagram, which is not very many, and I've made more meaningful connections and have had more business conversations than some of my friends who have 10,000 followers. So you want the right people following you. Yes.
Is it true that you should have more followers than people you're following? That's not true.
Doesn't matter. Back in the day, there was this thing where it was like, I need more followers than I'm following. Yeah, because it says something about me, because that means people find me valuable. Don't even worry about it. Doesn't matter. As long as it's serving you well to follow them, then yes.
Well, I've had a company, tiny boy, down in Lynchburg, years ago. Like, why is my commercial sitting on YouTube and I have 2 subscribers? So, now apparently that's being spun out.
Well, and-
That's it. No, you're fine.
Company.
And Instagram is connected to Facebook, so if you post, you
Yeah.
can post on both at the same
Yeah.
time.
You can, yes.
I like that too.
But if you're gonna do that, start on Instagram.
Okay,
Okay.
because I tend to lean toward Facebook. I feel more
Yeah.
Jump rope.
The
comfortable
link
there.
is Facebook.
Because you're comfortable there.
The link is stuck on
Instagram's a
Facebook.
little uncomfortable for me.
Mhm.
Which is good. That's good because it's an opportunity for growth.
But when you're outreaching.
But definitely start on Insta first. Because when it pulls from Facebook to Instagram, it sees it differently. If you start on Instagram, it'll push it out. And since you're already on Facebook, your warm market's there. When it
Okay.
pulls over from Instagram to Facebook, you're not going to notice much of a difference.
Interesting. I would have thought the opposite, so thank you.
It's different. There's like,
Insta first.
there's not groups necessarily where you can get like thousands of people together in this one place, but there's hashtags and you can follow hashtags. So you'll leverage hashtags instead of groups, if that makes sense.
And it's like, the hashtags seem useless on Facebook.
They are, because it's just a different, it's a different game.
I just use it to bold the words.
And then it's like, good grief.
True story.
Exactly.
That's funny.
Yep.
Is there a limit to the number of hashtags there should be?
I like to use 5 to 15. And the thing about hashtags is utilize ChatGTP for this. You're going to want 5 that are high volume, like millions of followers, couple 100,000 of people that have posted in the hashtag. You're going to want 5 mid and then 5 super narrowed down, like 5,000 or less. So if you go to ChatGTP and you say, this is what my post is about, give me 15 relevant hashtags that have high, medium, and low, and it'll dump them out at you. It's
Wait, so
fantastic.
Do like
Are you-
an XML buzz, and that would be cool. But
Are you
check
seeing-
the little thing.
Are you saying to put 15 on each post?
You can do 10 to 15, yeah.
Okay.
You don't have to always. I don't always, but the more you use is the more places your stuff's
And you
gonna
want
show
the,
up.
you're saying you always use that variety. Some are going to be high, mid, and low.
Yeah, so if you don't use, so always use the variety. I do 10 to 15 because then it's 5 of each, easy math. You could do 2 of each, 3 of each, however you want to do it, but just make sure you have some from everywhere.
Okay.
Because the highly used hashtags got a lot of people there, so you're gonna have less visibility. Smaller hashtags, you're gonna have more visibility, but there's less people. So you need a happy medium, and you never know what's gonna get people's attention and where they're gonna be. So I use a bunch of different, like toddler mom has hundreds of thousands of people following it. But then if I do like toddler mom life with boys, more narrow, right? So you want that variety.
Will you go through what you consider high, mid, and low? What are the numbers? Like how many?
So for high, you're gonna see millions and then a couple 100,000.
Would be mid.
Mid is gonna be a couple 100,000 to like 50-ish thousand.
Okay.
And then your lower is gonna be,
Under
I
50.
say under 50, even under 10 or less. And then just, if you throw it into ChatGPT and you say, I want high, medium, and low, it'll do all of that for you.
Alright.
So you don't have to think about it.
If you pay for a business Google email, you have Gemini, and Gemini will do the same thing in Google Docs.
Okay.
Same
Gemini is
in
great.
Google Docs?
It will do it inside Google Docs. So
Mhm.
like that little magic pen that you see on everything now,
Yeah.
that's the AI. You
Yep.
just tell it what to write, just like ChatGPT, and then it's.
I do not. I don't like it. You can write for us.
I usually
I'd
use
rather
it to
do-
edit and filter my emails
Yeah.
so that
I'd
I
rather do
sound
somebody else's.
nice.
I'd rather do
It's really
somebody's
hard to
voice.
talk about people's
So like
money
my
and
coach
all
the
that.
other day, she said, Gail, your content, she said, I can tell you had a corporate background. And,
Oh.
and I wrote my press releases because I tend to write in that more,
Mhm.
that voice. And she said, but for your content, you need to go take your content, put it in ChatGPT and say, could you please put this in 5th grade language?
Yeah.
So that's
They
the
make
kind of
more
stuff
fun.
that-
Yeah.
I speak in picture language.
Yeah.
I use it often to say, make this more friendly.
Yes, make it more
Like,
friendly.
so, if you would have done did you get a reply back to me when you scheduled that email?
I did.
Did it say something about QuickBooks Wizardry on it or whatever?
I can't remember. I'd have to look and
I
see.
can't remember if that's just for my contact form or if that's across everything, because it's supposed to be like, if you're ready, take the next step, so go ahead and do this.
Mhm.
I just threw that into the AI and I said, make this sound more fun, make it, because bookkeeping and accounting isn't fun.
Right.
Telling
So
people they can't spend money or that they can't count that
you don't have to
deduction
use
is
it
not
to
fun.
write anything for you. I also use it. I said, I'm launching a podcast. Give me a plan to ramp it up.
Fun with- I mean,
And
I have one more question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Like something like Constant Contact that'll put your stuff out on all platforms. Can you do that with Instagram on Constant Contact?
I don't know. I don't know if you can or not. I'm assuming you can if you can post it everywhere else. I'm assuming you can. I don't love third-party schedulers because I think Instagram prioritizes stuff that originates from the platform.
Facebook does too.
So, but the great thing about Instagram is we can plan all of our content a month in advance and schedule it out and be done. And then you don't have to worry about it. Yes. Do you have a professional
And
page?
Facebook.
Make it a professional page. You can schedule all your stuff out a month in advance.
Yeah.
Heck
Mine
yes.
scheduled 2 weeks out at a time. We didn't think about that right then. I
Heck
thought that last month
yes.
when she
We are
did
not spending a ton of time on content.
So I didn't
We are
even know
not.
there was a professional page on Instagram. That's all I
Yes.
needed.
You want to make sure you convert your page to professional because then you can analyze your analytics, you can schedule posts, and it gives you some tools. Like Instagram has its own training programs and stuff,
Yeah,
videos
yeah.
you can watch and stuff that's accessible to
We
professional
took their
pages.
editor for the first
Yeah?
one, and that was
What'd you think?
It was like fine. Like I put out a video the day after that thing.
I saw.
took it that afternoon and scheduled it.
Oh,
because
nice.
Lindsay had posted that day for me.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I didn't want to double post.
Yeah.
To get the traffic the next day. I don't know. It had like 20 views, but hey.
It's a start though. It doesn't, and if one of those 20 is someone that needed to see it or is your ideal person, then that's all that matters, right?
I'm currently working on one where I took a video of my kid. We were on a field trip of like them going around on the Ferris wheel,
Mhm.
and just like, why I love my business, like all the little pop-ups, and then he wouldn't let me kiss him, like so he's like hiding his face, so it's kind of perfect. I took an 8-second video, so you can't see his face, but it's like I'm with my kid and I'm trying to love
Yeah.
him. You can never see his face, and that's like the end. And so I'm trying to get that posted today.
Cool.
Just
Yeah,
for an
so-
idea of, like just take a 30 seconds of something and
Yeah.
put an overlay on it.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be you talking. It doesn't have to be like it can be a video. Like you can do a video of like your makeup kit, however, like whatever. Quick video of yes, or hair, like you actively doing someone's hair. And but it doesn't. It can be your hands, like and the back of their head. It doesn't have to be.
I'm gonna tell you what.
And I
Your
will
face.
say, analytically, and at least for me, if there's something I need to read, and if it's a quicker video, I will generally read it. I'll watch it through 3 or 4 times just so I can read everything
Yes.
that's on it, and that gets you more views, which pushes you out.
And that's one of the tricks. So we have 3 seconds to get anybody's attention.
Mhm.
Very short period of time.
And what's the length that you lose them?
So it
After
depends.
3 seconds.
Less than that. Less than
Less
that.
30, I think.
Yeah, it's probably more around 10 to 15. But if you make a shorter video,
Yeah, like my video is 18 seconds, so I'm gonna write it.
and if you have a lot of words on it, you're gonna get more views because people have to watch it over and over again to read all the things.
Right.
So there's a strategy here and there,
What
yeah.
I was gonna share with you really quick about, she said doing hair. I love on TikTok to watch the hairdressers.
Yeah.
I
What she's
love
best for.
that. I love that. So it's like, you know, they cut it in, they clip back when the hair's done. I
Mhm.
love that.
But
Oh,
then
yeah, there's
also I
tons
have
you
that
can
whole
do.
comparison thing where I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm not that good. Oh my
I
gosh,
got that
I'm
same
not that
thing.
good.
Those are
Also
lies.
my double chin.
People want you.
It doesn't matter.
Not today's sake.
Your thoughts about I'm not that good is around you, not around who you're serving. So think about who you're serving.
My double chin.
Because it's not about you
It's not.
at all.
Yeah, that's
No, about you, Nicolette.
I've been told that multiple
It's
times.
not your
well,
point.
it's all of us. All
Yeah.
of us.
I struggle with
How
that.
loony they
I couldn't tell you how many. So I've been recording videos and I had a cold sore here and now I have one here and a pimple here and I'm like, why am I showing up like this?
Now
This
you're
is
pointing it
gross.
out. God,
I
so now I
know.
notice it's there.
And I'm like,
Look,
it, but it's not about me.
everyone look.
Yeah.
Like it's not about me. Who cares?
It's like when I have a client say, I just want enough to pay the bills. I'm like, well, who's that about?
Right.
What are you going to have left over to give to others? It's not just about you.
Yeah, what do you?
You want enough to pay your bills, and then
What about me?
What if God wants to give you more so that you can
Right.
give and pour out?
Buy my book. Buy my book. To help me help you. There you go, Gail. Buy my
Exactly.
program so I can help you help yourself. So I can help others.
I probably mentioned this on Tuesday because I've been obsessed with the book and the series, the Go Giver series, the Go Giver, the original book, which is all about not about like how much money you can bring in, but how much value you can room
Yes.
for the money.
Now
And
buy
then
5 houses
being
for
on
me.
that side of the thought process, just in the last 2 weeks has brought me out of a 2-month depression.
Yeah.
What's it called?
Powerful
Go-Giver
book.
series?
Go
The
giver.
Go-Giver, and there's Go-Giver Leader, there's Go-Giver, there's like 5 different ones. I'm on Go-Giver
Wow.
Leader right now. And
Okay.
all of them are like, they're fictitious stories about businesses, but it takes you through the story to teach you these different lessons about it. So it's a really good, like, I guess like a parable type
Yeah.
thing,
Mhm.
like going through what it's like. And in the leadership book, I posted this like yesterday, the saying of, money doesn't build companies, companies build money. And we can do the same thing with us. People don't build money, or people don't, or money doesn't build people or communities. People build money, and people and communities build money or sustainability. You can just interchange all of the words because we're in a lot of us. I feel like, or a lot of you guys are solopreneurs.
Yeah.
So I'm a little bit different here where I have team things.
Yeah.
But
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You did mention that on Tuesday, and I
Well,
forgot. So now I'm gonna have
Like,
to.
there's like a whole book club thing you can do surrounding this.
Yeah.
That I'm thinking about doing.
Wow.
Because I want my whole team to do it.
Yeah.
Own it, sister.
Sounds good.
I typically do ask them. I'm like, we're doing this now. And I'm like, okay, boss.
That's so funny. So
I'm lucky. They-
sorry.
Works.
I've got some strategy here, so I want to leave you with like some tactical stuff. So we've got 3 seconds to grab their attention. 3. So that means we have to grab their attention in our content, but we also have to grab their attention on our page. So if your page isn't positioned to grab people in, then it doesn't matter if they watch your videos and like your stuff because they're not going to follow you anyway. So we need to make sure, number 1, your photo is a good photo of either your logo or you. You don't need it.
Photos up there right
We don't want it to be your family. I know we love our kids. We love our kids. We love our family. That's great, but this is a business. So if you are the face of your business, a nice photo of you. Doesn't have to be professionally taken. Mine was a selfie, but the lighting was good and it was fine. Just so they know who they're dealing with. Then your bio, Instagram gives you this great thing called a bio. And that's where you can give them a little bit of information about who you are. But you don't want to put in there, like, for me, I don't want to put in, like, I love ice cream.
I love lobster.
I have 2 kids. Lobster rolls are great.
Lobster rolls. There's only 2 places I know. Like, do we know another one?
You want
I
to
love lobster rolls.
answer 3 questions in your bio. Who you are, who you serve, and how.
I sort of got.
Business focus.
Okay, business.
Yeah. So an easy way to do that is I help who with
My people.
what so they can
I'm redoing
blank.
mine right now.
Are you?
You are
say-
Gail.
Please say that again.
I help who, so that's your ideal client, with what, that's what you're helping them with, so they can get whatever result they're looking for. So this is where you need to get very clear on who you're serving, because once you know who you're serving. I do. I do Instagram audits.
Is that looking at someone's Instagram and giving them feedback?
I will go through your entire profile, past 2 months of content, break it all down, give you tactical tips and advice for moving forward.
Can I do that before next Friday? Because I have dinner with my people.
If you want to, sure, we can
Because
talk
I'm
about it.
transitioning from one person to another person.
Yeah,
The first person trained the second person, but I also
Yep.
change up completely. She might just do admin, and I'm like person that's her whole thing.
yeah,
I haven't decided my life yet.
we can talk about it.
Sorry.
But yeah, I do that, and I'll go through 60 to 90 minute call to discuss everything I've uncovered and tips and things like that. So we want your bio. That way when they come to you, they're like, who is this? The first thing they're gonna ask themselves is, what am I gonna get from here? So you want them to know exactly what they're gonna get, because then they can decide to follow or not. And if they don't, great, we don't want them anyway. But we want your people to follow you. So we need to get clear on the bio. Whoops. Okay. Once you figure your bio out, we need you to figure out your content pillars. Because if you're asking yourself, what do I post? I don't know what to do. If you have your content pillars, you know exactly what to post. You need to pick at least 3. You can have up to 5. Do not have more than 5 because then it gets confusing. So your content pillars are what you help with. So for me, it's social media tips, motherhood, and then my last one
Elderly people.
is
Myself, not only.
Health and wellness.
Fixing guys.
All related to me, not all related to my business. I want 1 to be related to your business, 2 to be you as a person. So think about it. Examples, faith, business tips, lifestyle,
And if you do have
anything you love.
things your team likes,
Yes.
and do different spotlights.
Anything you find enjoyment in.
Buzzwatch. Offshore.
So for you, it could be community impact. Community impact,
Well, see,
right?
I'm doing like Buzzwatch with farms and kids. And
Yeah.
They want to do and sell, with the kids. Like they do fundraising at farms. and stuff.
Say that one more time, the 3 things, 1 for your business.
1 related to your business,
Yeah.
2 related to you as a person. So if you love hiking
Yeah.
and you can provide tips about hiking with kids, perfect.
So
1 business, 2 you as a person.
2 you.
And that's your 3 to 5 content.
3 to
goals.
5 pillars. Yep.
Okay.
And the reason we want 1 for your business is because when we're posting, we want it to be 80% value, 20% sales. So if your 80% value is around other things outside of your business, when you bring your business in, they're not like, she's just trying to sell me on
That's
stuff.
Some of my things are doing way too much, like in between not concentrating on my business. Sometimes I get too excited.
We gotta have a good
I have
balance.
bad hat.
Good balance.
I don't got them doing it.
20%
You're,
one.
you are
20%
going to roast
selling.
me because most of our last few months have all been selling because that's the easiest thing.
That's okay. So you know what's funny? Most of the time, people are not selling.
Oh.
They're just value dumping, which is great. But this is a business. We need to sell too. So the fact that you're already having selling stuff on there is easy. Now we just need to dump in the value. And since you are not the face of your business, or you're phasing out of being the face,
Still everywhere. I've looked.
that's
My
okay.
face is here at least 20 times. Can it go away?
Think about all of your team women, most moms, right? So things.
Technically, I think all of them.
All-
No, one of them is not a mom. Correction. I forgot. TJ is not a mother yet.
So coming up with content pillars might be interesting for you just because you're not the face, where I think everybody else here is the face. But what you can do is carry values from your team. So like motherhood could be 1 for you, since that's really not just you, it's your team, right? So we can dig into that. But you want to ask yourself, what are people asking me? What do people come to me for? Outside of makeup tips, hair, whatever, real estate, what are people coming to me for? What's a hobby I have? What's something I enjoy doing that I can talk a lot about? So for me, motherhood is great because I can come on there with funny videos about my kids and people love it.
Yeah. I used to do more kids.
Like a-
I used to
It's
do
a real,
more
it's,
kids.
yes.
That's great for
So
advertising.
I mean, I teach this stuff, but you are helping me so much. Like, here's just 2 quick examples. One of my clients said recently, she said, what you're offering makes me feel so unburdened. That word right there.
Yeah, that's great.
I mean, it was just such an eye-opener for me. The other one is I teach, like, I didn't know I was teaching this, but I have 3-day weekends.
Yeah.
I don't work on Fridays.
Mhm.
And recently my clients have been like, I want your schedule.
On that.
And so like my lifestyle thing is
Yes.
I promote my 3-day weekend.
Yeah.
And I sort of try to do it with like, we're going on a hike, we're going exploring or whatever, but I didn't see how that was like coming into the brand, you know, as that one of those pillars because my clients are in the second half of life and they want
Yeah.
part-time.
We do that at where we don't take any meetings on Mondays and Fridays.
Yeah, I don't do a kick meetings on Mondays either.
Yeah, because we're like, those are project days or days that
Yeah.
just catch up with
Monday's
life.
my project day, Fridays I'm off, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday I'm in.
I don't see that in my
Yeah.
future.
Yeah, so sorry, but that was, thank you. This is,
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
great.
I'm happy to help.
Someday.
So Nicolette, once you narrow down your niche, then we can get to pillars. But we need to define niche first. And then it'll flow more in your head. And obviously one of them's easy because it's your business, right? Whether it's hair or makeup, you can do both. Then we can kind
I'll be
of dig a little bit
expecting
deeper.
an update when I'm in your chair.
I love my job, so I do it.
Once we have bio and pillars picked out, now we can talk about content. Without pillars, it's hard.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be pretty. You don't have to learn any of these like fun dances that people do. It doesn't have to be choreographed. I mean, you can if you want, but you just need to start. Just start. Doesn't have to be beautiful. I mean, I've shown up, like, woke up in the morning, makeup under here because I didn't even like take it off the night before. Nicolette's gonna kill me. I didn't take it off the night before, and I didn't wash my face that morning. So like I just have black under here, and like I'm in a weird t-shirt that had stains on it because I nursed my kids, and I'm like, whatever, dude, like show up. Yeah,
Dual breast
That's reality.
it is.
I was just a breast milk machine.
Everyone made up.
Like,
I came on one day and I'm like, I feel like a cow
well,
today.
my husband was like, yeah, is there a place can take it? The freezer's loaded downstairs. I'm like, it's feeding my kids for 9 months after.
People are tired of carefully curated content.
Yeah.
They want to see reality
Yeah.
because
And
they
I'm here to give it to them.
people have made them feel so bad about
I'm gonna be
themselves.
watching Mondays 'cause, it's like,
Because you see people with like, I saw one video and it made me so angry. She had her kids like sitting at this nice table and they were like doing schoolwork and like everything was organized in the background. And I'm like, what does the rest of your house look like? Because I know that's the only
Yeah,
area that's
yeah.
organized like that. And she's like,
Housekeeper.
here's our morning routine. Like, my kids love school. And I'm like, this is not the reality. Like, this is just not.
Hey, Noah, when we were taking going to Goodby Baptist Church, and Ron's like carrying him in. Oh no, he's going down with the. Oh my God, we're going to Goodby Baptist over there. Yeah, it's like the Altec company picnic. Oh, there goes Noah. In the woods.
My oldest
We're
went
never
into
counting.
a circle of my mom's workers. She's like, oh, I have to pee, and they're having me a treat. So I was down and 8 men.
Hey.
I was like, at least you're in the right company.
Hey, I don't have neighbors anywhere, and they would say, how do you name your kid? Well, how you yell at the neighbor and see who yells back.
That's hilarious. Oh my gosh.
I lived there way too long.
I think you're so right. People want authentic content.
They do.
They've gotten past the perfect picture.
Yes. Because everybody started to realize, like, that's not realistic. It's not.
So
I started posting without makeup on.
Yeah, good for you.
And
Go to Facebook.
I'm like, it is what it is.
I don't think I'm on my
But how many people get ready every day, have their hair done, makeup done, looking, like, it's just not, it's not realistic. It's just not.
I got Dolly Parton
And-
pictures out there.
You showing up that way gives other people permission
Right.
to show up that way.
And it's like even also, I've admitted, hey, we've needed help from Christian Ministries or SML Good Neighbors, and I support this. Because, hey,
Yeah.
it's their time.
It should be at the top.
So content-wise, I said 80% value, 20% selling. So we've got to figure out what your value is. Quick tips.
I think it's spelled out.
For me, it's a lot of quick tips because
Yeah.
I'm up in the season of life I'm in. So it could be, here's my favorite meal, 2 tips to build a business. Gail's could be a mindset hack that's helped
Very good.
whatever. Quick and easy, value for them where they get something out of it.
And
ev-
we educated people on taxes yelling.
I saw that.
What?
I thought that was hilarious.
We have like 8 clients within one day email us in all caps. We're like, we know you're not mad because we know you, but everyone else thinks you're yelling at me.
That's funny.
And so we posted about it.
Value can be education, entertainment, connection.
8 at the gate.
So for me, some of my value is just showing up. Like one of them was reason 576. My toddler threw a fit today. People loved it. They thought it was hilarious. Value. So it doesn't always have to be education.
First one?
It can be something funny,
Hello.
And then you can, if you want plain
something,
brown,
some connecting piece about lobster rolls, right? Just to get people engaged. And then 20% is selling, whatever that might look like.
Get a weed wrap. Yep, you click it and then you scroll down and
Every post needs to have a hook,
It won't let me.
a thought out caption, and then a call to action.
are you in the menu?
So we
or
want to
did
take
you
them
start
through a
with-
journey. We bring them in, we give them something, and then we tell them where to go. Whether it's
So say,
Following.
It's
hook,
okay.
Hook, line, and
It's
sinker.
quite clearly
Which is
read.
no longer
So
now,
you know how to
it's
use
not
their
like
technology.
song.
the hook, thought out action.
hashtags. Oh, call to action. Sorry,
Everything's
call to action.
tied back
Yep.
to your financials and
So
your
we're
goals.
taking them on a journey.
Process of
We're bringing them in, we're giving them something, and then we're telling them where to go. Whether it's following along for more, DM me for this, click this link to book your whatever, comment below, tell them to do something. Because if you got them in and you gave them something,
Oh my gosh, I can't write this stuff fast.
Maybe
tell them where to
goal recipes.
go. Sorry.
It should be recording.
Follow for more.
I feel less roasted.
Take her home with you.
Follow for more. It could be follow along for more. Comment below.
Comment below. I've noticed
Check
that.
out my link. Send me a message. Email me. Call me. Whatever you want it to be. Send them somewhere. Otherwise, you lose them.
Yeah, literally, when you're speaking,
Click here.
tell them what you're going to tell them, then you tell them what you're going to tell them, and then
An
you
action
tell them what you
statement.
just told them,
An action
Right.
and
statement.
then you give them how to reply.
Exactly. So for me, it's
An action.
here are 3 questions. Like if your bio doesn't answer these 3 questions, you're losing people. And then people are like, great, let me come in. I give them the 3 tips, and then I say, if you want more, follow along. And then they'll follow me. So send them somewhere. If you get them in, you got to send them somewhere, otherwise you lose them.
I'm yours.
That's amen. It's not like that's by the way.
Yeah, amen.
So like ladies 80s night out, and we're gonna have 80 free tickets to the Keys. So when you get in, like any ticket you buy, it's a 50-50. Half of those proceeds will go to SMO. 80 tickets.
Got it.
I have 2 rows of
80
tickets.
tickets. For neon pink.
And they're going out in 2 weeks.
What time? Cherry, cherry. And I have businesses giving me prices.
Incredible.
And I kind
Fun, fun, fun.
Yeah, yeah.
I expect for all of you to be there. It's stunning neon green. Pink.
And I love them, my girls.
With
I'm gonna get a
sweatbands
January
and
from
stuff.
Dixon. You don't get used to it.
I was born in 95.
Dixon, yeah.
Ah,
It's Gail probably, my friend,
Times in my
Dixon,
hair, but
Clever.
I really like the beads.
You've never
It's
heard
very
of
small.
that one?
I don't- Me personally, I don't like
Madonna.
webs or sewn webs.
Madonna.
Oh, should on me up,
Especially if
find
you
me
have a picture
up.
with a little bead. Okay. But yes.
Yeah, pulley rollers here. Bring it
It's
on.
like, my hair.
Your content doesn't have to be perfect. It just needs to be true to your calling.
This is a 2 row.
It keeps, I'm sorry.
You're fine. That was my last piece. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just needs to be true to your calling.
Not perfect.
It's
We're
not
not corporate
perfect.
America dag on it.
All right, so I have
Cross
some,
our eyes and
I
dot
have some
our T's.
embarrassing questions.
Yeah, go ahead.
So when I am on Facebook, this won't let me make an order.
Well, that's just.
When I'm on
unacceptable.
Facebook and I'm looking at those, I don't know if they're stories or reels, whatever they are, they come up.
Yes.
I finally figured out you hold your finger on it so you
Yeah.
can read it before it goes away.
Yeah.
And but so often it's an Instagram post and it's a video and I'm watching it and then it ends. So the goal, what they're trying to get you to do is press the button so you go to Instagram and you watch the whole thing. Is that okay?
Yep.
And then I see some people like all of the, some of them it's like it's just this big.
Are you talking about the stories?
I guess all the little
The
clips
stories,
and they
and then
don't
they
even make
disappear.
sense and they don't and they're like not connected to each other and I'm like this is like you're making me nervous. This is a random mess of stuff.
So that might be stories, and stories is great. There's a strategy behind it. It's not the same as your content. So your content, we're providing value, we're hooking them in, providing value, call to action. Your stories, behind the scenes. So today I shared about my son. I finally got my 14-month-old to sleep through the night.
Oh my
So I
gosh.
shared about that.
Amen.
And then later I'll post some videos of my kids playing in the yard or something funny. And then I'll post something about today, what we did here. So kind of random. But the point is for people to come in, get to know you, like you, trust
And
you.
don't
Give them behind the
stories-
scenes stuff.
Don't stories disappear?
24 hours.
I was just trying to.
They're up for 24 hours and then they go away unless you highlight them.
So-
Make them a highlight.
The way I have my things up is all my personal stories go over to Instagram from
Mhm.
Facebook, but if I post it on Instagram, it actually comes back over to my professional page on Facebook. I don't know.
Interesting.
why.
Oh, because you have those. We have to look at what's linked.
But I don't mind that because I don't share anything I would on my personal Facebook that I don't care because honestly,
Mhm.
90% of our clients are my friend.
Yeah.
That's why you'll never see many, and most anything negative
Mhm.
or like that or like talking bad about anything or anyone ever because
Mhm.
By God's sake, somebody else say something.
yes, I have people to talk to.
I
for that.
know.
I have friends
I
for
understand.
that.
I understand.
Yeah, I've read something that
Honestly,
says,
you always
leave
look
your
at-
feelings at the feet of Jesus instead of on your feet.
Look at my picture.
There's some wisdom right
Yeah, there
On your
is.
face.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Hater.
Yeah, there have been times where I've shared things and people commented and I'm like, oh, I want to say something right now, but I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to let it go.
No, the Lord's like, resist the temptation, Gail. Just resist
Yeah.
the temptation.
Yeah.
Bring it on.
Yep. So yes, stories is a good place for people to get to know more about you. And I know, so there are some people who don't want to share about their personal life very much or their kids. And I said, that's fine. If you go for a walk, either take a video along the walk or take a picture of the trail and be like, this is one way for me to, I don't know, release anxiety or get closer to the Lord, whatever it might be. Just take them on the journey of daily life with you. You don't have to be the face.
Yeah.
Your family doesn't have to be involved. It's just behind the scenes of who you are.
Okay.
So earlier this week, a woman was struggling with the fact that she didn't want to have her personal life on there. And I said, you don't have to. If you're going for a walk, like take a picture of your feet.
Yeah.
I'm going for a walk.
I do that.
Like if you do a devotional in the morning, take a picture of that and share how you start your morning. People find that valuable.
Yeah.
A morning routine, why is it so important?
Yeah.
If
Right?
anybody's interested in hiking, at Tanya, I went to because I didn't have a car. So somebody I know on forever. It's come from a body shop. But Tanya, she's involved with a church in Botetourt, and she's just getting into fundraising.